Everybody freeze! Everybody move! What's your name? Bunker? Hey! Adios, amigo! Fuck you!
Joni, Utah, a young newly graduated agent, arrives at the FBI headquarters, Los Angeles, for his first term of duty. Harp, the head of the bureau, welcomed him warmly, then immediately introduced Johnny to Angelo Pappas, a senior agent, who would become his partner. Joni looked enthusiastic when Angelo showed a videotape of the bank robbery action, which was carried out by a group of masked people who call themselves the ex-presidents. When entering and robbing a bank, that group wears masks and the names of former American presidents. Angelo said that group carried out the robbery carefully and professionally. They only need 90 seconds for each robbery. No one ever gets shot. After exiting the bank, they fled in a stolen car that was abandoned on the road, then disappeared. They carry out bank robberies several times a year in the summer. Angelo said they were a group of surfers. Johnny is obsessed with capturing that gang of robbers to earn a reputation as an FBI special agent. Angelo, who at first refused, seeing that Johnny was so passionate, finally agreed, together with Johnny, to take on the case.
Look at them. They got their own language.
For the success of his mission, Johnny then approached Tyler, a woman who mastered surfing techniques and had close ties to the ex-president's group. Johnny asked Tyler to teach him how to surf. Tyler initially refused. She thought Johnny was not suitable for that hobby. With a little flirting and lying about his family, Johnny finally succeeded in getting the woman to agree to his request. Johnny also hoped that Tyler would be an entry point for him to be able to infiltrate the ex-president's group.
They were killed in the car wreck.
You gotta stay low, you're gonna bite it.
Through Tyler, Johnny managed to get to know Bodie, the leader of the ex-presidents. It didn't take long for Johnny to mingle with Bodie and his group. By showing surfing actions and claiming to be a former member of the Ohio State Buckeyes football team and having participated in inter-university championships, Johnny received a warm welcome from Bodie and his 4 loyal followers, Nathan, Rossi, Gromitz and Roach. He was even invited by Bodie to come to a special party held by his group.
Locals rule and...
Back off, war child, seriously.
What's your name? Bunker?
Hey!
Together with Tyler, Johnny comes to the party. In a chat, Johnny heard Bodie say his biggest wish, which is to surf at Bell Beach, Australia, next year, when there are big waves there. Bodie explained, twice in 100 years, there was a winter storm from Antarctica, which brought huge waves as far as 2,000 miles. When it reaches Bell's Beach, the wave will turn into a big wave, the biggest wave on planet Earth, he said.
No, it's real. It's absolute. And it sends a huge swell. Gotta be willing to pay the ultimate price.
After the party, Bodie invited Johnny to do what he called a stealth action, surfing, conquering the waves at night. This action may be a test from Brody for Johnny. Even though he wasn't sure, Johnny finally managed to do it. He felt his own satisfaction after doing the action. Although it is undeniable that he felt the sensation of pleasure from surfing with Bodie and his group, Johnny did not forget his mission as a special agent for the FBI. That day Johnny met Angelo, shared information with his partner. He suspects that Bodie and his group are planning to rob a bank to fund their summer adventure. Together, with Angelo, Johnny prepares an ambush action plan. The two waited and watched from the car in front of the bank. Angelo, who felt hungry, asked Johnny to buy a sandwich for him. Johnny, who was ordering a sandwich at a food stall on the corner, while Angelo was in the car reading a newspaper, made the two of them not pay attention when the former president's group came by car and immediately entered the bank. Johnny saw them as they came out of the bank. They quickly got into the car and fled. Johnny and Angelo tried to chase him, but in the middle of the chase, the car Angelo and Johnny were driving was damaged after crashing into a guard post. Johnny got out of the car and ran after the herd's car. Ahead, the car driven by the ex-president's group was also damaged, right near a gas station. They then seized another car to continue their escape. One of them, wearing a Reagan mask, managed to grab a gas hose and set the car they had left on fire. Before he could escape with his group, Johnny managed to ambush him. Seeing this, the other three people who had been waiting in the loot car chose to leave immediately. Johnny tries to catch the Reagan-masked man, but it's not easy. The man put up a fight and managed to escape from Johnny's ambush. He then ran. Johnny didn't stop chasing him, so he had to run around, through narrow alleys, and break into people's houses. Johnny had to experience a problem. When he jumped over a flood control channel, his leg sprained, so he was unable to continue chasing that person. Johnny pointed his gun at the man with a shout, warning him that he was forced to shoot. The person wearing the reagent mask, who was none other than Bodhi, had turned around and looked at Johnny from behind his mask. After staring at the man for a while, Johnny suddenly hesitated to shoot the gun. He let Bodhi get away with it. Johnny, who is aware of his identity as an FBI agent, is now known to Bodhi and his group. He is confused about whether to be honest with Tyler, who is now his girlfriend. Johnny hasn't had the chance to say it yet, but Tyler finally finds out for herself, after finding Johnny's identity card as an FBI agent. Tyler became very angry, and immediately left him.
A lawyer! Lied to me!
The next day, Bodhi suddenly arrives with Nathaniel, Grommeth, and Roach to meet Johnny. He invited Johnny to do an adrenaline stunt, which, he said, would be very fun. He invited Johnny to try it. The action is to jump from the plane. Johnny could not refuse. He expressed his willingness to take that action.
You're gonna jump or jerk off.
Johnny enjoyed the jump, maneuvering in the air with Bodhi, Nathan, Grommeth, and Roach, so that for a moment he seemed to forget the situation he was in.
Come on, Johnny! Get Eagle, baby! Your speed! You're doing good! 1,000 feet, okay?
After doing the jump, Bodhi suddenly said something else. He shows Johnny a video showing Tyler being held hostage. Bodhi said that the one holding Tyler hostage at the moment is Rossi, one of his followers, who he says is uncompromising and can do sadistic things.
I really do. I hate violence. Once you set him in motion, he will not see Johnny. You are just...
Using this threatening message, Bodhi then forced Johnny to join in the bank robbery with his group. Johnny was forced to follow the invitation. Bad luck come upon Bodhi and his group. The robbery did not go smoothly. One of Bodhi's followers, named Gromit, was shot dead by a uniformed policeman who happened to be inside the bank.
Heads down, eyes down! Dick, go to the vault. So I need just a couple of minutes of your life. Just do it! Lyndon, go open the vault. What do you want me to do? Open it! Big girl.
After committing the robbery, with Roach and Nathan, his two remaining followers, Bodhi headed for a charter plane that was waiting at Santa Monica Airport. Together with Angelo, Johnny immediately headed for the airport. It wasn't too late. Bodhi was still there, packing up and preparing to fly on the plane he had chartered. Johnny immediately approached Bodhi, asking him to release Tyler. Meanwhile, at the same time, Angelo, who was sneakily lurking, was coincidentally seen by Roach. Roach immediately shot that FBI agent. Wounded by the gunshots, Angelo still managed to shoot his gun on Roach and Nathan. Roach is injured, and Nathan dies instantly. Meanwhile, Angelo, he himself later died. Bodhi then forced Johnny to join the plane with him and Roach, who was injured. When he arrived at his destination point, Bodhi prepared to jump from the plane, along with the bag containing the stolen money. After first helping Roach jump, he said goodbye to Johnny, then followed the jump from the plane. Fearing for Tyler's fate, and driven by hopes of freeing her, Johnny jumped out of the plane without using a parachute, with a gun in hand. Johnny managed to reach Bodhi and cling to the man. He asked Bodhi to withdraw his parachute. Bodhi refused. He told Johnny to do it himself. When he was only seconds away from landing, Johnny was forced to throw away his gun, and pulled up Bodhi's parachute. Both of them survived, even though they had to land hard. Moments later, Rossi arrives with Tyler. Bodhi apparently kept his promise to release the woman. Johnny greeted the woman who was running towards him, and then hugged her. He felt relieved. Meanwhile, there, Bodhi was forced to leave Roach, who did not survive, after jumping from the plane in a state of serious injury. 9 months later, Bell Beach, Australia, at that time was being hit by an extreme storm. The visitors chose to leave, for the sake of safety. Johnny, with definite steps, walked towards the beach. He was sure Bodhi was there. And, indeed, he saw that man standing on the beach, looking at the waves that roared and soared. Johnny walked over to him, throwing the Reagan mask at the man. Johnny said, for a year he has been looking for traces of Bodhi to Sumatra. He knows Bodhi is now alone, after Rossi, his only remaining loyal follower, has also died. He found it in Baja, Mexico, in the form of a piece of meat, after he lost a fight with a stronger person. Johnny asked Bodhi to surrender, but that man refused. Johnny is forced to ambush him, and a fight ensues. Bodhi is a tough guy. He beat Johnny in that fight. On one occasion, he submerged Johnny's head in the water. Johnny then did an unexpectedly clever thing. In a state of head and body immersed in the water, he managed to put handcuffs on his and Bodhi's hands. Bodhi gasped with a shocked face. Bodhi begged Johnny to let go of the handcuffs. He said, today might be his last chance to surf the big waves that only happen every 50 years. This is the greatest desire in his life, he said. Johnny was stunned. A sense of doubt clung to him. As a police officer, he had to catch the man, but on the other hand, he could understand Bodhi's desire. While there, police raid teams were seen arriving to enter the beach area. Johnny had to decide soon. And he decided to let go of the handcuffs, as well as let Bodhi go, get on his surfboard, ready to hit the fury of the rolling waves.